In a world where logic and order reign supreme, the U.S. Supreme Court, our last bastion of sanity, has sided with President Donald Trump in a move that is being hailed as a victory for those who appreciate efficiency over needless bureaucracy. Yes, indeed, the court has allowed the mass firing of tens of thousands of probationary federal employees, thereby doing what any sensible government would do, trimming the fat. Now let's delve into the juicy details. The plaintiffs, a motley crew of 9 nonprofit organizations, dared to challenge this noble act of governmental streamlining. They sought to reinstate the employees, claiming the firings were a travesty. However, the Supreme Court, in its infinite wisdom, ruled that these organizations lacked the standing to sue. In other words, their case was as flimsy as a $2 suit from a clearance rack. Justice Sonia Sotomayor and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, however, would have denied the application for a stay. Imagine that. But thankfully, the majority saw through the smoke and mirrors, understanding that the allegations were insufficient to support the plaintiff's standing. A round of applause for the justices who stood tall for common sense. Now, the real drama began with a federal judge in Baltimore who took it upon himself to order the Trump administration to reinstate these probationary employees. Chief Judge James Bretter, in a move reminiscent of a reality TV show, plot twist, demanded a list of affected employees and an explanation of compliance within just 7 days. It's almost like he was auditioning for a role as a daytime soap villain. The plaintiffs, represented by none other than the American Federation of Government Employees, argued that the Trump administration's actions had wreaked havoc on federal agencies, causing deep and lasting harm. They lamented that the Department of Veterans Affairs and other agencies were facing dire consequences. But let's be real here, folks. When has a little shakeup ever hurt anyone? Sometimes you've got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? The narrative spun by these plaintiffs was one of chaos and destruction. But the Trump administration, in its unparalleled sagacity, argued that these firings were tied to poor performance. Performance reviews. Those dreaded evaluations that apparently didn't go too well for our probationary employees. The government's position was clear. Keep the best, lose the rest, and avoid the chaos of rehiring just to appease the masses. The administration's stance was further solidified by Solicitor General John Sauer, who argued that the courts shouldn't meddle in federal workplace reforms. Courts do not have license to block federal workplace reforms at the behest of anyone who wishes to retain particular levels of general government services, they declared. And really, who wouldn't trust the government to know what's best for its own workforce? It's not like they've ever made mistakes before. Cough. The plaintiff's argument that these terminations were unlawful and disruptive was met with a collective shrug from the powers that be. The Trump administration contended that reinstatement was an inappropriate remedy, akin to putting toothpaste back in the tube. Even if the terminations were deemed unlawful, that still wouldn't justify such a sweeping reinstatement order. After all, doesn't everyone love a good legal technicality? So, dear viewers, what do you think? Are these firings a necessary step towards a leaner, meaner government machine, or a heartless culling of the federal workforce? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, if you're enjoying our satirical dive into the world of politics, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Your support keeps us going, and we love hearing your opinions. In the end, as we navigate the wild world of politics, let's remember to keep our wits sharp and our tongues firmly in cheek. Who needs drama when reality is already this entertaining? Stay tuned for more biting commentary, and as always, thanks for watching.